Bizarre Brain Comics. Hello, my comic book fiends. Yes. Ghouls and goblins. Welcome to the Bizarre Brain Comics Dungeon. And I am your host, the Dark Librarian. I'm here to tell tales of terror. Oh, and I have here my good friend Yorick. Oh, he's going to help me. Oh, he almost forgot to show up, but then what do you expect? He has such a terrible memory. He'd forget his head if it wasn't attached. Oh. It's not attached. Oh yes. Get it? Get it? Yeah. And today we're going to take a look at this book here for our spooky month of October. This is Creepy Magazine 172 from 1981. And look at that. Look at that cover. Isn't that creepy? Yes, that's creepy. It kind of reminds me of Hieronymus Bosch paintings, you know, all those old classic creepy ones. And this cover, Terry Lindahl is the artist for that. Terry Lindahl. And of course, Creepy as a magazine. It started in, what was it, 64? By Warren Publications. And they are known for doing wonderfully well with black and white horror magazines through the 60s and 70s and into the 80s. And their material was inspired by the great pre-code horror of the Golden Age, primarily the horror of EC Comics. And they had 3 horror publications: Creepy, which was the first, Eerie, and Vampirella. Yes, and they were horror hosts. We got Uncle Creepy in Creepy, Cousin Eerie, and of course Vampirella. Take a little look in here. Oh, this book, over about 42 years old. I love the smell of that old, musty smell of the old paper. And they had great stories and some magnificent artwork. Oh, look at this splash! It's not even just an introductory page. Oh, look at that! And that. And there in the corner and back here is Uncle Creepy. Oh, that's good. And their anthology had several stories. Hoodoo the Magnificent, about a magician who was an escapologist. And it doesn't want to scare who did this? This was written by Will Richardson, illustrated by Martin Salvador. And it's just some really nice work there, told mostly in flashback about the career until you get to the guillotine. He's doing a guillotine trick on himself, and then we find out at the end, well, everyone said it was a hoax and it was a fraud, but it wasn't, because he actually cut himself in half. Then we have by Bruce Jones. Bruce Jones had his own comic series in the 80s of Bruce Jones horror comics, and illustrated by Luis Bermejo. Forbidden Fruit. This is about a castaway on an island. He's telling the story after he's been saved. How he's and introduces the people to his, who say to his wife, who was just a small child. How could this be your wife? Because they had, has the story of the ship they were on, which sunk. They survived, but in the process, everyone else, including their baby, was lost. And they find this bizarre plant on this island, and the lady takes a bite from one of the weird fruits, and then she notices that the fruits have this tongue that zips out and bites, gets flies out of the sky, out of the air. And then she becomes, because she ate the fruit, she starts transforming into a tree, kind of like, what's her name, Daphne? I forgot her name. And this big fruit grows on her tree, and he plucks it, and it gives birth to a small child who looks just like his wife as she would have as a child. But then we see it, then the tongue zips out and catches flies. Now the story I wanted, this one here. Jerry Boudreau, writer, and Nolly Paneligan is the art. Some really beautiful stuff. You don't see it so much here on this first page. I'm not even going to go into the story. I just want to talk a little bit about the art here. But this, some really, really, even my wife just thought it was gorgeous. And there's some beautiful artwork here. Looks like it's mixed media, some pen work, some pencil work. Shades. Oh, you can see that there. There's some beautiful, beautiful work. And then we get to the story I wanted to talk about is Daddy is a Werewolf. This takes place in the early part of the 20th century, and there's this guy who is an insurance salesman with this lady trying to sell her insurance. She says no, she doesn't want any insurance. And in the front, while he's there, he suddenly transforms into a werewolf and attacks her. He kills her. She screams. People come in to save her, and they see the werewolf, and he's frightened off. Cops start chasing him, and then we see he comes to a house, and he climbs into the window in the house, and it turns out it's his own house. He in the process, he changes back. His wife knows he's a werewolf. He wants to, and he's so sorry because this woman died, but he can't help it. And it has a backstory about how he turned into a werewolf, started turning into a werewolf when he was a kid. He meets this doctor who knows that he's the one who killed the lady, and he's been doing experiments. He said werewolfism used to be a part of human survival in ancient times. And he's been doing experiments, and he turned this chimpanzee into this big monster here. Looks like a Magato from Star Trek. And he's supposed to do surgery on him and remove this gland that turns him into the werewolf. So that day they're having a good time at the amusement park, and that night he's supposed to have the surgery. And then going through the horror house, taking a ride on the boat, and he gets startled and he turns into a werewolf, and he takes off to making sure he doesn't attack his family. And he goes to the doctor and insists, do the surgery now, you must do the surgery now. And he had been mentioning that the doctor knows medical stuff, but he doesn't know much about the lore of werewolfism, about the silver and stuff. And he doesn't realize until he's going under on the anesthesia. He's about to go under, and he hears the doctor say, oh yeah, and these blades are even special, and they have silver, they're silver plated, and he can't. Then he's out before he can let the doctor know that silver will kill the werewolf. And then we have another one. It's all about an American Indian story called The Wind. And this was written by Roger Mackenzie and illustrated by Val Mayerick. And remember, Val, he was especially in the 70s, he was a well-known, popular artist primarily for Marvel. He did a lot of stuff. Howard the Duck and some Swamp Thing and Doctor Strange and stuff. Some nice work. I'm not going to go into the story for that. But that is what I wanted to share with you this time for our spooky Halloween, spooky month of October. Please like, share, subscribe, leave a comment. Do you remember the Warren magazines, Creepy, etc.? Which was your favorite? Which host was your favorite, besides Vampire Love, of course, and all that good stuff? Let me know in the comments below, and remember, comics are art.